In 1991, India's government began instituting economic reforms that liberalized markets and drastically improved economic performance. Today, the African continent is poised to undergo what could be an incredible period of economic growth through increasing trade liberalization. What lessons can be learned from India's experience? And can it be said that Africa is about to experience what India experienced in 1991? To understand these questions, we must understand the history of the Indian reforms. Prior to 1991, the Indian government pursued a centralized approach to development. The state owned almost all industries and regulations stifled the private sector. For decades, debilitating policies like the nationwide law that made it illegal for a business to produce more than their planned output essentially prohibited efficiency. An overreaching bureaucracy, known as the license verge, imposed absurd regulations which made starting a business extremely tedious and complex. During the 1970s, it was determined that it took an agonizing 410 days to obtain a government-issued business license. Furthermore, corruption and special interests ensured that entering many markets was practically impossible, and monopolies were allowed to dominate significant industries. In terms of international trade, India largely pursued a policy of economic self-sufficiency. The consequences of these policies are not surprising. Between 1947 and 1991, India received more development aid than any country in the world, yet 40 years ago, nearly half of all Indians lived below the poverty line. However, in 1991, India decided to pursue economic liberalization by abandoning the license verge, privatizing many state-owned enterprises, and incentivizing international trade. The results have been nothing short of incredible. Today, India is considered an emerging superpower. It has the sixth largest nominal GDP, a booming technology sector, and a real GDP that has doubled in the last decade. Between 1999 and 2019, GDP per capita grew at over 5% per year, and today it takes just 18 days to acquire an Indian business license. Now, it is important to remember that India is not a perfect example of economic freedom, and India and Africa have many underlying differences. But the point is that when India embraced free markets, they also saw great increases in economic growth. And that is what has led some to ask the question, will Africa see its own Indian-style economic boom if it embraces free markets? Africa has been a continent steeped in economic protectionism since colonialism, and to make matters worse, post-independence leaders often pursued a version of African socialism that further cemented economic nationalism. However, things might be changing. The newly implemented African Continental Free Trade Area aims to reduce more than 97% of tariffs on goods traded between African states over the next 12 years. The World Bank has estimated that the free trade area could lift more than 30 million people out of extreme poverty and increase wages by as much as 10% by 2035. The reasons for these staggering estimates are simple. When people are free to trade among themselves, they innovate, increase their output, and provide for gaps in the market. For Africa to experience India-style growth, countries need to pursue policies that promote economic freedom across the continent. The free trade area by itself won't be able to solve all of Africa's problems, but hopefully this is a sign that African leaders are serious about adopting market-friendly policies which have consistently been proven to increase human prosperity. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to follow us on Twitter at @the_IATP. Hit the like and subscribe buttons below, and check out our website at www.theiatp.org.